which two numbers in 10th place? नहीं.
To help him build his relationship with Zoe. She
हाँ
told him to
बाबा आ
spend
गए.
1 hour this week doing something Zoe enjoyed without Austin or me there. She told him to listen to Zoe talk about her interests without giving advice or criticism. She told him to notice when he felt the urge to correct her or set higher standards and to stop himself. Kevin wrote it all down in a small notebook. His handwriting looked shaky. That Saturday, Kevin took Zoe to the bookstore downtown. She loved reading and spent hours in her room with novels. Kevin had never shown interest in her books before. Zoe looked surprised when he asked her if she wanted to go. She asked if Austin was coming too, and Kevin said no, just the two of them. They were gone for over an hour. When they came back, Zoe was carrying a bag with 3 new books, and her face looked different. Lighter somehow. She came into the kitchen where I was making dinner and said Dad was actually nice to her. She said he asked her about what she was reading and did not interrupt or tell her she should read something more educational. She said he bought her the books she wanted even though they were fantasy novels he usually said were a waste of time. She said it was weird, but good. I hugged her and felt something loosen in my chest. Over the next month, Kevin kept trying. It was not perfect, and he still slipped into old patterns sometimes, but the trend was positive. He started praising Zoe when she brought home good grades instead of only pointing out what she got wrong. He told her he was proud of her science project. He said good job when she cleaned the kitchen without being asked. He also started holding Austin accountable for his schoolwork. He checked Austin's homework every night and made him redo assignments that were sloppy. He took away video games when Austin did not turn in work. Austin complained that I was mean and strict, and now Dad was being mean too. But his teachers started sending emails that said Austin was turning in more assignments. His grades went from F's and D's to D's and C's. It was not great, but it was progress. Austin's next report card showed a C in English, a D+ in math, and a C- in history. Kevin sat down with Austin and told him he was proud of the improvement. He said if Austin kept working, he could bring those D's up to C's by the end of the year. Austin actually seemed happy about the praise. Zoe's anxiety started going down. I could see it in how she carried herself. Her shoulders were not always up by her ears anymore. She smiled more. Tina, the school counselor, called me to say Zoe seemed lighter and more confident in their sessions. Tina said Zoe told her she felt like she could breathe now. When I heard that, I cried in my car in the school parking lot. One night, about 5 weeks after the ultimatum, Kevin and I had a real conversation instead of an argument. We were sitting in bed and he turned to me and said he needed to tell me something. He said he resented Zoe sometimes because she reminded him that I had a whole life before him. He said it was irrational and unfair. But when he looked at her, he saw proof that I loved someone else first. He said he knew it made no sense because Zoe's father was never in the picture, and Kevin was the only dad she knew. But the feeling was there anyway. He said naming it out loud helped him recognize when those feelings were influencing his behavior. I listened, and then I told him I had been carrying resentment too. I said I resented him for years of watching him hurt my daughter while I stayed silent to keep the peace. I said I resented myself for not protecting her sooner. I said I was angry that it took me threatening divorce to make him see what he was doing. Kevin said he was sorry. I said I was sorry too for not speaking up earlier. We both cried. It was not a magic fix, but it felt like something shifted. 6 weeks after I gave Kevin the ultimatum, we went back to the therapist. She asked how things had been going, and we told her about the changes. Kevin talked about taking Zoe to the bookstore and checking Austin's homework. I talked about seeing Zoe relax and Austin's grades improving. The therapist said we had made significant progress, but she warned us that lasting change required ongoing work. She said it was easy to slip back into old patterns when stress was high or when we were tired. She asked Kevin if he was willing to continue therapy. Kevin said yes. He said he wanted to do both marriage counseling and individual sessions to work on his deeper issues. The therapist scheduled our next appointment for 2 weeks. 3 months passed since that night in the therapist's office. Our house felt different now. Lighter somehow. Kevin still messed up sometimes. Last Tuesday, he started to lecture Zoe about a 94% on her English paper before he caught himself mid-sentence. He stopped talking, took a breath, and told her the grade was great. She looked shocked for a second and then smiled. I watched from the kitchen doorway and felt something loosen in my chest. These moments happened more often now. Kevin would slip into his old patterns, but then he would notice and correct himself. Sometimes I had to point it out. He would get defensive for maybe 30 seconds, and then he would apologize. Real apologies. Not the fake kind where he blamed me for being too sensitive. He started checking Austin's homework every night at the kitchen table. Austin complained about it constantly, but his missing assignments went from 12 to 3 to 0 over the course of 2 months. His teachers stopped sending worried emails. The principal called once to say she'd noticed improvement and wanted to encourage whatever we were doing at home. Kevin actually seemed proud of that call. He told Austin he was doing good work, and Austin rolled his eyes, but I saw him trying not to smile. Zoe brought home her next report card on a Friday in February. 5 A's and 1 B+ in math. She handed it to Kevin at dinner, and I held my breath. Kevin looked at the grades, and his face broke into a real smile. He told her this was excellent work, and he was proud of her. That was it. No mention of the B+. No lecture about the points she missed. Just genuine praise for what she accomplished. Zoe's whole face lit up like someone turned on a switch inside her. She thanked him quietly, and I saw her hands relax on the table. Later that night, she came to my room and asked if Dad really meant what he said. I told her yes, he meant it. She hugged me for a long time without saying anything else. Austin's report card came 2 weeks later. 3 C's, 2 B's, and 1 D in science. It was not perfect, but it was massive progress from 3 F's. We made his favorite dinner that night, chicken parmesan with garlic bread. Austin ate 3 helpings and talked about his history project on World War II. Kevin asked him questions about what he learned, and Austin actually answered instead of shrugging. After dinner, Austin helped me load the dishwasher without being asked. He said trying in the school felt weird at first, but now it felt better than failing. He said his friends noticed he was getting better grades and it made him feel less stupid. I told him he was never stupid, just not trying. He nodded and said he knew that now. Our family still has problems. Kevin and I still argue sometimes about money or schedules or whose turn it is to drive the kids somewhere. Austin still plays too many video games and Zoe still worries too much about everything, but we function now in ways we did not before. I learned that protecting my daughter was not destroying my family, it was saving it. Sometimes the people who love you need clear boundaries to become better versions of themselves. Kevin is genuinely trying now. The kids are both doing better. I finally feel like my voice matters in my own home. I stopped walking on eggshells around Kevin's moves. I stopped making excuses for behavior that hurt my daughter. I started trusting myself to know when something was wrong and to speak up about it. That Sunday dinner confrontation changed everything. It was not easy, and it was not fast, but it was necessary. My daughter deserved a home where she felt valued, and my stepson deserved a father who held him accountable. I gave them both those things by refusing to stay quiet anymore. My stepdaughter gave my husband a dartboard with my face as the bullseye. He laughed and said he'd hang it in the garage. I left for 3 weeks and let everything fall apart. I married my husband Glenn when his daughter Tammy was 14. I knew from the start that blending a family wouldn't be easy.